Good evening, everyone. I'm your host, Sudip Maiti, career designer. Welcome to Classroom to Boardroom Talk Show, episode number 20. We have gathered here to enlighten you about the different ways by which the transition from classroom to boardroom can easily happen. We'll discuss about the hurdles or challenges that come along the way. Take charge of your career and also listen to the different eminent persons who have excelled in their field. Today we have invited one of the great mentors from South Africa, Johannesburg, who is co-founder of Reaches and Beyond, founder of the Millennial Speaker Mentorship Program, which teaches how to build a business to seven figure with your story, host of Reaches and Beyond and Millennial Speaker Podcast, editor in chief of Millennial Speaker magazine, international speaker, entrepreneur, as well as the best selling author and speaker's coach. He is none other than Milan Milosevic. Milan learned from the great people like Lisa Nichols, Bob Proctors, and Michael Beckwith, and spoken internationally US, UK, Dubai, and South Africa. Featured in his business magazines, entrepreneur magazines, powerhouse speakers, several business podcasts. And he is believing that the two secrets in business is in building relationship and providing the enormous value. So today we'll talk about importance of communication skills in career growth. Welcome, Milan, in this particular talk show. If you can briefly explain about your story, so that will really impact to the people, and I believe so that will impact to the audience, those who are listening to us, into their career growth as well as the career journey.
Thank you so much, Sudeep, for having me, and such an honor and a privilege to be part of your podcast and to really hopefully inspire people to understand the need of communication and to express themselves and share their story because you never know who's listening and you never know who's going to get inspired by your story and your journey, right? And today, people see me, Milan, you made it, seven-figure speaker. I travel around the world to 40 countries. I share the stage with Lisa Nichols and all these great people. Well, not many people know that not so long ago, I didn't have any of this. 16 years ago, I was broke, college dropout, couldn't even speak English. I was born and raised in Serbia, right? So my dad was electrician, and that's where this journey started. When I woke up one day and I realized I don't like where I was and I need to make a difference. And somehow I ended up working in America and I learned from the greats. If it's all about that journey of me being better person, me finding something what I love to do, and who do I need to have to take me to the next level. So I learned from great people like Bob Proctor, Lisa Nichols, Robert Kiyosaki, these people that you just named, and each one of them took me to success closer and one step forward. So today, really, I want to touch up more about communication and really that importance of changing your life for better and identifying your story and sharing it as many people. I mean, I'm in South Africa, you're in India, right? So it's like the world is an oyster, but you never know who's listening, who might get inspired. But hey, Milan, you couldn't even speak English, and now you shared international stages with these great people. Can I do the same thing? The answer is yes, but you need to know how. You need to have that clarity. So we're going to talk about that clear path, what really helped me on this journey, and hopefully going to help some of your listeners and viewers as well today.
Thank you. Thank you, Milan. Yeah. So my story is also the same like you almost. So I born and brought up in a village. So I couldn't speak in English as well as the local language in India, the national language we are calling as a Hindi. And I can't speak both of the language during my childhood. I came out from that particular situations. I went into the college, and after the engineering, I couldn't get selected because of my communication skills. And after that, I thought of my educations might not be this enough for me. I did my masters in engineering, but after that also I couldn't get the job after the campus. So I thought that that might be the somewhere there is a gap. Somewhere I need to improve. In the year 2019, during my appraisal meeting within my me and my boss, when we are sitting, during that period of time, my boss given me the feedback So you need to improve your articulation and communication skill if you have to move into the ladder. And that is the triggering point in my life. I thought of, okay, if I have to do some change within me, so why not to change to the society? Like me, a lot of people are there like that way. They're
Mm.
suffering, that they can't express themselves, they can't articulate themselves. Why not to change their life as well? So and that way I started my this podcast kind of the things. Yeah. Thank you,
Mm.
Milan. So
Uh,
yeah. So I'll ask you the few questions. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So why do you think that so good communication skills are really important for your career?
I mean, look, in any business, if you have an opinion and if you feel that your opinion might help that company or that other person, you need to know how to express that. I mean, we were never really thought about public speaking in school. You might be giving some recitals here and there, but funny enough, in a smaller group of people, I'm that quiet guy. I let everybody talk, right? I mean, if I'm on the stage in front of thousands of people, I can talk forever because that's my playground. But I was also struggling very much so when I was younger in sharing my views and opinion, right? Because I was never taught how to do it. I will let other people who are more outspoken speak, and then I would just be that quiet guy there who just like, what's wrong with him? I just didn't know how to say it. I didn't have that confidence in speaking up and saying, hey, that's not a good way. This is might be a better way. So once you learn that importance that your opinion can contribute to that other person's well-being or that company that you're part of, you want to work on it and to get it out there, right? So you might be that employee who might be having some great ideas that their ideas can help that company, but if you never speak about it, how would they know? How would they know? So once you learn that skill of communicating and expressing your ideas the right way, then you get more appreciative, and then people see more value in who you are, what you have to offer, and eventually somehow you're going to scale yourself up to the next level, to the next position, because leaders were needed to be expressive, leaders were needed to be outspoken, right? You want to be a leader, you want to make more money, well, you need to learn how to communicate and get your message across, because there's a lot of followers, way too many followers, but not many leaders, right? So if you learn that skill of communicating, eventually you might become that leader that can change and impact other people's lives.
Great, great.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So if you want to become a leader, so if you want to make money, so you have to be good communicators. Without
Yeah.
communication, you can't stand. You can't
And
stand anywhere in this world. Even
100%.
though in your family, day-to-day life, also you have to do the communications. And
Absolutely.
with your spouse, with your children, everywhere you have to do the communications.
Mm. It's a skill that you have to learn, right? I mean, I have two kids now, and it's a different way you communicate with yourself as a businessman, as a professional, with your kids. The kids a bit different, right? So you have to kind of
Correct.
get yourself to their level and really teach them through the
Exactly.
fun and games, and that's how kids learn. But again, understanding how do I communicate with kids, how do I communicate with CEOs, with celebrities, with regular people. So that's the skill that you learn over time, right? If you become too technical, then some people won't understand it. If you're just too simple, then the ones who are analytical people just won't see you like serious. But at the end of the day, your results will speak louder than words. I can say I don't have a degree. I'm from Serbia, that's somewhere in Europe, wherever that is, right? But I've done a lot of things. I mean, my book is number one on the Amazon, and all of a sudden, wow, you don't have a degree, but you managed to do something great. That means something is working. So if people are open to learning, then the change happens, right? I love Milan. He doesn't have a degree, but I love his story. I love his results. I want to be part of it. Results will always speak louder than words. And that's why that communication, being outspoken and really giving yourself a credit. I mean, we all been through a rough time in life and we pick ourselves up and we are here where we are today. Now, there's somebody's going through the same thing. Share your story, share your journey, inspire them, and giving them hope through that journey of success at the end of the day, right?
Great, great. Yeah, one
Mm.
of the our guest is also here. I could see the even, so I'm just pulling him also here in this
Mm,
particular discussions. Yeah.
great.
So thanks, even. So you are joining with us in this particular talk show. Yep.
Ivan, he's a good friend of mine. Ivan, how are you, brother?
Yeah. So, Milan, so just want to know another things. So I heard about that there is the two terms called the communication. One is the effective communications, and another thing is that the simple communication. Is there any specific difference between the effective communication and the communication?
It all depends of the environment, right? So if I'm doing a speech in front of 10 people, right, so that's a bit of a different story. So I need to get to the point. I have maybe 1 hour to touch up everybody. If we're doing like a board meeting or something, like it's a different story, right? But if I'm on the stage in front of 3,000 people and they're all Americans, right, and they're from New York, and they're a bit snappy, they like get straight to the point, so I need to adjust my presentation to those people, right? If I go back home to Serbia, they're going to look at me like, where'd you come from? You speak like my accent has changed a bit, so I need to know who is my crowd, right? And I have to adjust my presentation that way. Who do I have in front of me? If I have CEOs, if I have regular people, female entrepreneurs, right, I need to position my presentation that way. But this comes with your skill, with your experience over time. I mean, I've done 1,000 plus live events, learned the skills of talking from the stage, selling from the stage. I've done hundreds of webinars, and eventually you learn what you need to do. So you position yourself based on your audience and what you have to present. And what at the end of the day is really your tasks. Are you just going to go there and share your story, or you want people to do something later, maybe to connect with you or to buy your book, right? Buy my book is on the Amazon #1 best-selling. Buy Sudeep's book, the charge, take charge of your career. So what is that call to action at the end of the day? What do you want people to do? But not to be too pushy or sales. It's all about, hey, I'm Milan, I'm from Serbia, I've done this, and if you want it, you can also have it, and come reach out to me. I'm most of the time very friendly. So it's understanding what kind of communication you want to use and when, right? If I'm talking to some female entrepreneurs and they feel that I'm a big CEO of a massive company here in South Africa, I need to be on their level one way. So I'm showing like, yeah, I help a lot of CEOs like yourself, and I can help you as well. Let's talk about it, right? So then, again, it's comes with experience, but normally people intuitively know how to position themselves. I have great conversations with simple people like cleaners, regular people, right? You can have some great wisdom from them coming out, but also have very deep conversations with attorneys, lawyers, and doctors who might be some of our students as well. So it comes with the understanding. And again, the more you speak, the better you become, and the better you understand the human psychology and how to approach people in a different way, right?
Absolutely, absolutely,
Mm.
absolutely. My next questions to you immediately. So, do you think that the communications means is only speaking in English, or does any other language you can do the communications? What do you
Not at
feel?
all. You know what? Any language. I mean, you can speak Hindu. I can speak Serbian. Serbian is my first language, right? And I love it. And I love it. But you know what? It's all about how do you get your message across. As long as you get your message across, that's what matters. Does not matter your accent. I don't speak perfect English. I don't really care. But my message is powerful. I can inspire people. I can show that does not matter. I don't have a degree. Can't even speak let's say good English, perfect, but I don't care. My message is there. Result speaks louder than words. So if you know how to share your story, and as long as people leave your presentation with, wow, that was a powerful story by Milan, by Ivan, by Sudip, you know what? That's what matters. You are not perfect. Nobody's perfect, but your message, how do you leave people at the end of the day after your presentation? How did you make them feel? Right? So we have so many smart speakers, intelligent, TEDx speakers. You one of the TEDx speakers as well. So, great people, very, very smart, intelligent. How many of them you can actually remember now? I've been to many TEDx talks. I can't even remember many, but the ones that you remember for a long period of time are the ones who have powerful story. Wow, there was that lady, that gentleman. Their story is amazing. The story, right? The story is not even about being a perfect speaker. Oh, he says 10 times, does not matter. How did you make them feel at the end of the day? If you connect with someone personally, they'll come to you. Wow, Milan, you touched me. I'm also expat. I left my country a long time ago. Milan, I'm also a college dropout. Milan, how did you do it to manage to be #1 on the Amazon with your book? Well, this was a journey, and we might have something similar. I can help you get there. So becoming very personal, understanding your story, and sharing your story with others, eventually somebody will come to you and say, wow, Milan, I needed to hear that because now I see the light at the end of the tunnel, right?
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So that's great. Yeah. So
Mm,
that's the thing. Your story connects with you. So that's the most important things.
yep.
Yeah. So, what kind of the tips you want to give to the people so that they can improve their communication skills? Is there any kind of the tips and tactics tools, anything is available so that the people can improve the communication skills?
Right. You know what? How I started, I was learning from the best. And I had this mindset, if you want to become the best, you have to find the best people in your opinion, right? So I learned from Lisa Nichols, I learned from Les Brown, Bob Proctor, whatever resonate with you. I mean, you might have some other idols in that niche, but the couple of tips really is about learning. You are your best judge. If you're doing some presentations and speeches, record yourself. I mean, for years I was doing presentation until I started recording myself. I was like, man, is this how I'm doing this? I'm moving too fast. I'm not even looking people in the eye, right? So you learn from your own experience, and you're your best judge. So always be open to learning. There's always someone that does things perfect. Wow, I would love to do this. And then from each person you learn, you take something that resonates with you, right? I love how Les Brown moves on the stage. I love how Tony Robbins speaks louder, right? So find what resonates with you, and then eventually you create yourself. Like, this is who I am. I'm a mixture of everything. Right. But when I started, I didn't have any of that. I just had, oh, here I am on the stage, and let me just do my best. But what my best is not necessarily is what it should be, what's been treated as the best. So you learn from the right people to take you to the next level. So number one is always learning from people who are there where you want to be, right? There's always someone, right? Instead of trying to figure out yourself, find someone who's there where you want to be and learn from them. Number two is like never stop growing. It's always something new to learn. And the more you do it, the better you become. I mean, I've done hundreds of webinars, and every single one, there's always something different. There's always something new. And I've done over thousands of live events. To every single event, there's a lot of similarities, but there's always something. Somebody might ask you a question in the middle of your presentation. How do you handle that? Maybe it's not really comfortable question. So do you know how to handle these different things? So always working on your craft, right? It's not even about perfection. Like, practice makes it perfect. It's about practice. It makes it consistent, right? And the more you do it, the better you become. There's not really perfection. You're never going to be perfect. There's always next level that you can reach through your growth. So it's all about, where do you want to be 6 months from now, 1 year from now, 10 years from now, right? And who do I need to become to be that person, right? Who do I need to become? If I want to be in a stage in front of 3,000 people, if I want to be number one best-selling author, what do I need to do to take myself to that level, right? How did you, Milan, do it? So, I can probably share that journey as well. And it's all about learning, understanding that if someone else was able to do it, you can do the same thing. You just need to learn how. Clarity will take you to success.
Absolutely, absolutely. You are absolutely correct. Yeah, the most of the people, there is a problem with them is that so they easily give up. So
Yeah.
the few things people should follow, I believe. So those who are listening to us here, so never give up in your life. If you feel that that is your destination, you have to go there.
Mm,
So somehow you have to overcome that. So
mm,
today I post one the quote here in my the social media channels. The thing is that all finishers are the beginners, but all beginners are not a finishers. Be the
mm.
finishers of life. So that's
Yeah.
the main thing. Everyone start their journey and midway, so somehow they have stopped their journey. And
Mm,
second thing, what I would say to the people, as you already told, be learner throughout your life. Don't think that you know everything. Come out from your that kind of the blockage of your mindset. That is the most important things. If you have that kind of the fixed mindset, you can't grow in your life. You have to be a learner. You should learn every day, every moment, from the small baby, small child to the big person, wherever you want. You have to be open, then only you can
mm.
grow. Otherwise, it's really difficult for you to grow in your life wherever you want to go. And the
Yeah.
third thing is that you should set your destination and goal, which is very important, and you should prioritize that. And if you are not able to prioritize the proper way, so that will be the really difficult for you. And the third thing is that you have to be focused. Whatever you want to do in your life, you have to be focused. You have to somehow you have to reach to that particular place, and for that purpose, what kind of the action is required, you have to do that. That is very important things. Yeah, great,
Mm.
great. So I'm just pulling Milan here. Yeah, even here, so he's waiting. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm glad that you mentioned that. Really, is about It's about learning, right? It's the moment you stop, you said to yourself, I know everything, you stop growing. I mean, the way we used to do business 20 years ago and before pandemic is not the same we're doing it right now. I mean, we used to do a lot of live events and pandemic happened. We all in the lockdown. What do? We have to switch to webinars. Hey, we don't know anything about webinars. How do we do that? So you had to learn from people who are doing it. So fortunately, one of my mentors was Lisa Nichols, and we learned from her how she's done it, and that's how you scale. So in fact, we were able to thrive even more now during pandemic because we were able to be innovative and not to give up. See, like you said, a lot of people give up because they see the obstacle and they don't see a solution. Oh, it's difficult, what do I do now? If they can only go around it and ask themselves, what do I need to do differently now? This path is not good for me, so I have to go around it a little bit. I'm not going to give up because it's difficult. I'm going to find the reason and solution. How do I overcome this obstacle? What do I have to do differently? But you see, the challenge with most people is they're not willing to do something. They don't even know what to do differently. They see obstacle doesn't happen according to the plan. That they give up. Oh, it's too hard. If it's easy, everybody would do it. But there's people who are doing it. There's a lot of people who failed, including me and including yourself, right? The stories are there. We have to fail in order to grow. We fail and we ask ourselves, what did I do differently? Wrong. Can I do it better? Then you pick yourself up and you start doing it differently in the other direction, but you're staying on the path. And eventually, through all these failures, stay long enough on the path, eventually you will reach that level of success that you desire, right?
Absolutely, absolutely, Milan. So I'm just looking
Wow.
back to my this is my 20th episode of the talk show. So
Mm,
I'm taking the first talk show when I was just conducting this kind of the podcast, live
yeah.
podcast. So I could remember that day exactly. I was very scared. I thought of what people will say about me when I'll be talking into this particular the social media channel. I was pretty much scared about that day. So, but today, so after the 20th episode, I'm pretty much confident. I know what need to be expressed to the people, what kind of the things I need to deliver. You have to do some practice for that. That's
Mm,
it. Yeah, you have
yeah.
to find out the different way to overcome the problem. So
Mm,
you should not think that this is the only way I can reach to the goal. If there is any kind of the blockage, you have to find out the other route. So yeah, that's true.
yeah. You said it. I mean, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be
Exactly.
great. And you
Yeah,
started
you
and you're
have to
doing it.
start.
20 episodes later, now you're the pro. And like, who cares what everybody else is saying? All what
Exactly.
they're going to say is like, all they're going to say is like, wow, congratulations. You actually made 20 episodes when nobody believed in you, right? So
Correct.
at the end of the day, you have to agree. The only person you need to have to believe in you is yourself. Everybody else is a bonus, you know? So I'm
Exactly.
happy for you. I'm happy. I'm sure we're going to be 120 episodes moving forward. So yeah.
Correct. Correct. That's the thing.
Mm,
Yeah. So I have seen that when I've started this particular the podcast, a lot of my friends are telling, "What man you are doing in this particular social media channel? The people are coming. You are talking with the people. You can't even speak in a good English. So what
mm,
happened? How you can express to the things? I told no matter exactly. I can keep my message through my story. That's it. If
yeah.
someone is really connect with me through that will connect with my story. They will not connect with me through my English language. Communication is not the English language. Only 75% is the only the English vocabulary is required. More or
Mm,
less the 55% is your body language. People will understand how
yeah.
much you are confident from your body language, your postures, everything matters, your eye contacts, all the things other than
Right.
the language. So
Mm,
that's the most of the people, so they're scared about that particular things. They feel that if I say something wrong, what people will think about me. You should
yeah.
not bother, or you should come out from that particular the mindset. Exactly, you should keep it aside. And the most of the people, they have failed because of the fear. So
Mm,
that's the message I would say. So come out
yeah.
from that particular the fear zone. If you feel that so you can't do anything in your life, you have to start somewhere else. Exactly. And every day you have to learn some new things from your failure, and you should implement that things, whatever the new things you have learned. So that is the most things. I was thinking about the when the iPhone launch. I was seeing the first video of the Steve Jobs when he was launching the first version of the iPhone. And
Mm,
during that day that the version of the iPhone, and 2 days the iPhone 13 came into the market. So this is the new versions of the iPhone. That's the huge hail and heaven difference. But the
Yeah.
thing is that somewhere you have to start your journey. If you feel that if you want to become a perfect from initial days of your life, that won't be happen. Somewhere you have to start, and you have to modify yourself every day. So
Mm.
that's the
Powerful. I mean, you said it. If you have something of a value that you feel that people will see, you need to learn how to communicate that, how to show them that there's value. Like if I have the greatest program in the world, but if nobody knows about it, I'm going to stay broke because I never learned the skill. But if I learn how to sell it, how do I present it? How do I show people, hey, this is the best thing that can help you, right? Backed up with the results and testimonials, then becomes easier. So communication is needed. And obviously, you speak better to your people who speak the same languages, like instant connection. But once you understand where other people coming from, what are their beliefs and values, then you can easily position yourself. But comes with the time and skill, the skill that you can learn, like anybody else can learn as well.
exactly. It's a learnable skills. It's nothing exactly God gifted or anything.
Right,
So
100%.
yeah, all the great speaker, they are not a the great speaker at the beginning. They
Mm,
do practice, and they try to overcome that particular the fear challenge, and they come forward. That way they become a great speaker today. We are
yeah,
listening. Yeah.
yeah,
So,
100%.
is there any kind of the communication types? So, because I was going through one of the articles, so there is telling there is the few type of the communications. So, do you have any idea anything about these communication types?
Mm. But depends of a person at the end of the day. I can say, there's people who are more expressive, there's people who are more fun on the stage, there's people who are more analytical. They always give you these facts and numbers, like most TEDx speakers, right? There's a lot of facts. But there's also people who are great storytellers, right? So if we
Correct.
put all these, and I always base presentations based on four types of people, right? So we have drivers, people who are just quick in thinking, they're taking action, right? And they want to listen to you, they want you to get to the point as soon as possible, right? Then we have analytical people, right? So analytical people, they want more facts, and they love those statistics as well. So that's a lot of TEDx talks. Let's say if you speak in England, right? They love that. Give us more facts and statistics. They just love it, just the way the nature is there, basically. But also you have people who are expressive, right? They need to listen and have fun. They love fun people. They love stories, and you need to kind of make them laugh, or else they're gonna get bored. And then we have a lot of amiable people, like especially here in South Africa, people who just love stories, and they love sense of support, and they want to connect with you personally, right? So if everywhere I go, right, I need to understand what is my crowd, majority of my people, right? If I, let's say, go to New York, for instance, most people are quick driven. I need to get to the point quickly. In South Africa, I might be telling more stories. In UK, in general, I might be giving more facts and statistics. It won't be that as much fun. But if I go to Spain, I need to be fun and exciting, right? Because that's my audience is, right? So you position yourself based on who you have again in front of you. If I go, let's say, and just give facts, 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 but I'm in South Africa and people just, oh man, this guy was so boring, not personal. That's why a lot of, let's say, Americans, they come here for some reason and they go straight into selling and facts, and they don't connect with them because there's no story behind it. So what I normally do, what I learned from Lisa Nichols, all these great people, identify your crowd and position your presentation to all these four types of people. Because some people want facts, some people want to be entertaining, some people just love stories, right? So some people just want to have fun with it. So you position your presentation that way, and normally people will get it. You will connect with most people in your audience, not with everyone, but most. So that was a big train smash for me when I understood that, because I was at the beginning, I was more an analytical person. I was just giving facts and teaching people, and I've been losing a lot of people. They wouldn't connect with me. I was wondering why, because there was not really a deep story in it. Right. Once I learned how to tell the story, people were coming more to me like, wow, Milan, this was inspiring. So it's a skill again that you learn, and it comes with a bit of a psychology learning. Who do I have in front of me, and how do I position my presentation? And this is what really helped me build the businesses to 7 and 8 figures with the same approach. Here's who I have in front of me. here's how we're going to position this presentation so that everybody gets the value, so that we can connect with people, and eventually they can see that this is the product or service that I have to offer, right?
Absolutely, absolutely correct. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So that's the
Mm.
thing. So so before any kind of the speech, you should know exactly what is the audience needs. If you
Yeah.
don't know the market, what market needs, you if you don't know, if you are not analyze that thing, if you start talking, nothing will be useful. And the
True.
end of the day, more or less, but I would say you should not be a boring professor. Okay, so
Mm.
you have to be, your speech should be the humorous, so that the people can also laugh in between your speech.
Yeah,
So you should give that kind of the scope also. Yeah,
absolutely.
obviously. Yeah. So do you want to pass any kind of the key message to the people, exactly those who are listening to us? Yeah, afterwards, so we can close this particular
Mm.
talk. So, yeah.
I mean, I believe that everybody has a story, everybody has a message. And I think us as humans, we have this natural need to help others to share that message and really inspired, but just by nature. I learned this from my dad, and everybody around me were just like genuine people, and they genuinely want you good. But sometimes we don't know how to express that, right? We don't know how to give that right advice without being pushy or something like that. So I want to say, get deeper into your story, understand your story of a struggle. And once you understand it, be open to sharing it with the world, because again, you never know who's waiting to hear that story. Somebody just might be going through a very similar difficult time like you've been through in life. Somebody might be broke, somebody might lost someone, loved ones, they don't know how to go with it. If you overcame that back in the days, you might help them with your advice and your story, and most importantly, you might be able to inspire them and give them hope, right? If I'm going to school and speak to the kids, 15-year-old, and they have no idea what they're going to be tomorrow, and then think, maybe I need to become either politician or criminal, and you show them that there is a different way, that you can build your business, that you can do it differently, right? They see a hope, and then you show them that, hey, you don't have to do this what you assume, that you can pursue your dreams and do it the right way that you want to. So understand your story, own your story, and once you own your story, you own your life. And once you own your life, no one can ever stop you on that journey of changing people's lives, inspiring, reaching out to people in India, reaching out to people in Serbia, South Africa. It does not matter. Story is yours. Story is what makes you different. And your story can inspire masses of people around the world. That's what matters. I mean, once I understood that my story can change so many lives without even realizing, I started working on my craft of speaking, of communicating. Let me get my story out there, because you never know, that little kid in front of you listening to you and get inspired. That little kid tomorrow might be president because you said something to them that really touched their lives and give them hope. So that's what it is. Work on your story. Everything else will come. But once you get that story out there, once you share it and you're proud of who you become today because of that story, that's the real power. The real power of owning your story. Now you own your life. And now you are who you are today because of your story. Mm.
Absolutely, absolutely, Milan, for your time. Yeah, it's a great talk. So those who are listening to us, so you can connect with Milan. So he's a great communicator. So you can learn from him. So, uh, and that is the what I would say. So it's not only for this career growth. Everywhere throughout our life, if you want to grow, so definitely the communication is the one of the important factor. It plays a vital role in our life. Without communications, you can't grow in your career, in your life, anywhere else. So
Mm.
that's the things. Yeah, thanks, Milan, for your time. Have a great day. So we are closing this particular talk. So have a great day.
My pleasure, Sudhir. Thanks so much for having me. I hope we
Thank
inspired
you.
some people out there. Thanks.
Thank you.
All the best.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye bye.